Once labeled as the sick man of Asia, the Philippines is now being hailed as the region's new economic tiger. It leads the way with GDP growth of 6 to 7% in the past 4 years. In a recent speech at the University of Guam, Harvard-educated Filipino economist Dr. Bernardo Villegas says it is the culmination of the different policies of the last few presidential administrations, beginning with the late Corazon Aquino.
The mother of the president was the one who restored democratic institutions after the dictator left. Fidel Ramos made market forces really operative. And then even the 2 years of Era Estrada helped redirect our efforts towards countryside development. And President Gloria Arroyo did very much in her 10 years to connect one island to another, helping improve logistics and helping the farmers, yes.
Villegas says the economy reached a tipping point under President Benigno Aquino. He credits the current leader's good governance for fostering the right conditions. And while Aquino's term ends in May, Villegas is still confident the economic progress will remain on track no matter who is elected the next president.
The engines of growth are independent of leadership in the Malacanang office. These are $28 billion worth of remittances from overseas workers this year, $22 billion worth of business process outsourcing. Those are going to continue whatever happens to the election. That's the good news. The better news is if we elect a president who is able to really implement the many infrastructure projects that are badly needed to make the Philippines comparable with our neighbors, then a growth rate of 8 to 10% is very attainable.
In fact, Villegas says, leading global banker HSBC predicts the Philippines will become the world's 16th largest economy by the year 2050. He says the country will continue to rely on more than 10 million Filipinos working abroad to send money home. It is also banking on the explosive growth of business process outsourcing, especially call centers. The Philippine population now tops 100 million and will be propelled, says Villegas, by a large emerging workforce of well-educated, English-speaking young adults. But despite a growing middle class, the Philippines still has the highest poverty rate in Asia at 25%. For that, Villegas says, the markets are not the solution. To truly address the needs of the poor, especially the rural poor, direct state assistance is needed.
Pope Francis is complaining that markets are being given too much credit for helping society. Markets have a limit to how they can help the poor. There must be direct intervention outside of the market to help the poor.
He says the economic trickle-down will happen, but it will take time. He believes it can be done within the next 20 years, but the government has to provide 3 things.
Improve the quality of elementary education so that children of the poor can have an education that may not equal but may be close to the education of the well-to-do children. Second, put up a lot of rural health clinics, especially maternity clinics, in the countryside, because that especially will address the problem of maternal mortality. Third, make potable water accessible to the people in the countryside, because that addresses both nutrition and health.
Villegas says in raising Filipinos out of poverty, there will also be a need to create more jobs. And to do that, he says, the Philippines must follow what other well-established countries have done.
Local businessmen are not enough to create this employment. We need foreign investments, as has been shown by practically all the successful economies, including China. China has been very open to foreign investments. So that requires the amendment of our constitution, which is too restrictive at the moment.
For KOM's Business Matters, I'm Nestor Lecanto.